Oh, this is like a 09-10 model, but if you have a similar Acura and it's making a noise, like very humming noise, and it's coming from where the drive belt is. So I know this car had a humming noise, but it just got louder. It seems like more than one component is bad now on this car. See which component is bad. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna be using this this little tool here. This is what doctors use to check your lungs, heart, pulse, whatever you want to call it. So this is what we're using today. All right, and you take this, put this in your ears, and the other end, let me just move my camera back a little bit so we can see better. So what you do is you put this in your ears, and you could touch the pulley here, alternator, and all the pulleys, and you will hear a noise. All right, it might change its tone. So what we're gonna do is I'll put this on the camera, right on the camera microphone, and we can hear it. But before that, I'll test it myself with using it on myself. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start up the car first. Alright guys, this car is screaming. This pulley is gone. The alternator is making noise also. So both of these pulleys on the tensioner are gone, right? Alright, you can hear it now. And this is the AC compressor here. Alright, so pretty much everything is done. Alright guys, so we checked it with the scope. And now what we're gonna do is we're gonna remove this belt. And to remove this belt, you need a number 14. Alright, so simply just take the belt off. And now we can turn these pulleys. Look at that, this pulley has a play. This is bad. Alright, I'm gonna just completely remove the belt. Alright, there you go. Alright, so what we're gonna do in this case is the compressor is done. Alright, and then you got these two pulleys bad. Alright, so let's call up the parts. We'll change the AC compressor, tensioner, the pulleys for the tensioners, and the belt. All right, that's it guys. So we're gonna wait and get the parts, and then we're gonna start up the job. All right guys, so we're gonna be changing the AC compressor on this Acura TSX, and also we're gonna be changing these pulleys, and we're gonna put a new belt on. Guys, anytime removing any AC lines, like to change this AC compressor, down there we have to remove this AC line. What you need to do is the freon in the system, you have to take it all out before you bust open that line. It's gonna shoot up on your face. All right, so before you do anything like that, you see how I got my machine hooked up? It's hooked up to these AC lines. What it's doing is it's recovering all the refrigerant from the lines, the R134, the oil and everything. It's gonna suck everything up out of there. Right, I'm gonna empty out those lines. And then guys, I know there's several ways to take this out. You could take this AC compressor out from the bottom, but for those of you who are trying to do this at home, what I'm gonna do is, the job is gonna be a little longer, but it's no problem. What I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna take off this AC fan here. I'll take off the alternator, and it'll only take me 20 minutes to take out the alternator. And do disconnect the battery when you do all this. And we're gonna take out the AC lines and the bolt and the cable. And there's 2 bolts in the bottom. You can fish it from the bottom, or you can put a floor jack. If you can do it on the lift, that's even better, but you decide how you want to do it. So this is the way I'm gonna do it. You can follow this procedure and do it this way. All right, guys, so let's wait till this thing empties out the system. All right, guys, to begin this job, what we're gonna do is we're gonna disconnect the battery, and I'll disconnect the negative on this side, because we're gonna be removing the alternator. If you're removing the alternator, make sure you take that off, because you don't want to short circuit the positive live feed to the alternator. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna come over here. I'm sorry, guys, I lost my light, so I have a terrible light till I get the new one, which is gonna be from the parts guy, the tool guy, I'm sorry. And I called him up, so he should be bringing me a light. Only thing about this light is there's nowhere for me to put it, you know. Other than that, no problem. All right, so what we're gonna do to start off is we're gonna remove this alternator. So what I'll do is we're gonna disconnect this, and then we're gonna disconnect that connector down there, which goes to the AC compressor. All right, once you have that out, I haven't got mine out yet, working on it still. So all you need to do is squeeze the tab and pull out the connector, just like that. You see I have both of these connectors out. And then we're gonna remove this little cable here from the alternator, the bracket. It might be a little tricky, but if you need to cut it, you can cut it and zip tie it back. Usually I break them and I put a tie on, because over time they're like hard plastic and they don't want to really come out. All right, so what this is gonna do is it's gonna release the cable there, and then right down here, what we're gonna do next is we're gonna remove the number 12 bolt here, and there one might be a 14 in the bottom. So I'm gonna bring both of those out. Let me get my tools and we'll work on those. All right, guys, to remove that bolt on the alternator, you're gonna need a deep socket 14 like that. If you need to, you can disconnect. You know what, let's take off this line first. I'm gonna get a extension with number 10. All right, guys, so I got number 10 with extension. I'm gonna take off this AC line first. That's gonna give me much more room to maneuver around here. Most of the time these lines are pretty stiff. They don't want to come out. So if you need to, if they break, it's okay, because they're gonna break inside the AC compressor. You're gonna replace it anyway. You see that? The gun wasn't that strong, the impact gun. These bolts, just put them somewhere safe, because you want to use the same bolt if the compressor did not come with the new bolt. So what I'm doing is removing the number 10 off the AC compressor that holds this line down. Right now the system should be empty. I can feel it's empty. All right, I'm gonna save this bolt somewhere safe. Right, there should be nothing in the system, but it got vacuum, so it's gonna suck his inward. All right, there you go. You hear that? That was a hissing inward, so that was just a vacuum. Now I got all this room, so what I'm gonna do also is slowly, you don't want to break this radiator, I'm gonna try to twist this line off. Just twist it. Once you twist it, it's just gonna leave its grip. Let's take this reservoir out. We'll put it to somewhere side. Now we got a lot of room. All right, we got a lot of room already to work with. All right, so let me take off that alternator. I am gonna take off the alternator. If you need help taking off the alternator, you can follow these procedures. So I got my 14 hooked up. And this bolt is not gonna be so easy to take out, but it's gonna come out. It's loose already. Once it's loose, you can turn it by hand, all right? All right, give me a moment. So if you need help how to take off the alternator, just follow these steps. If you need help how to remove these pulleys, I'm also going to be changing these pulleys. So that's a bolt for the alternator. Don't lose it. Put it somewhere safe. And then we have number 12 down here. Let me get number 12. And for 12, I have a swivel here. I'm not going to go walk to the toolbox. So I have the swivel there. Alright, I'm gonna just manage it. That's a number 12. And now the alternator should be coming off, unless there's something else holding this thing. We'll figure that out. But again, don't lose this bolt. Keep it somewhere safe. Let me get a pry bar. Let's see if this moves. There you go. Alternator is loose. Remember guys, we still have to take off this cable, but we can't take that cable off till we get the alternator to face up. We probably can remove it at this moment, but I'd rather just... Whoa, the line. Come on, don't do that to me. It's pushing all of my tools down. Probably gonna come back around, but what can we do? The alternator is like from the bottom, it's the other way around. It has a piece in the front and the back, so it's stuck in there, but it's loose. Let's see if I can yank it off. Oh my God. All right, let's keep doing this. Wiggle it like that and it should come off. I'm gonna show you guys how to make this alternator go in easy when we put it back. Don't hurt yourself, because I almost put my hand in there. It's better to wiggle it this way because it's like a little mechanism in there that squeezes this. Come on, buddy, come on. Should be able to lift this thing out. All right, I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna move my camera out of the way. All that needs to do is come out, and then I'll show you what's the problem. All right, guys, I got this alternator out, and I'm out of breath. All right, before I show you what was holding down there, let me take off this. This is number 10. All right, I'm gonna get my number 10, and I'm gonna remove this bolt. Put it somewhere safe, guys. There we have the whole harness, And here comes the alternator. You see this? This little notch right there is coming out. Usually you gotta push this back in. It'll give you just enough space for the thing to go in there. And then when you tighten the bolt, it pushes it in and compresses it. All right, so let me put this to the side. And all the way down there, we have the AC compressor, right? So the AC compressor has 4 bolts, and we should be able to take it right out, just like that, all right? And if you need to, you can remove this fan, which I'm not gonna do at the moment, but I am tired, so let me take a breath. All right, so we're gonna go bottom of the car first. We're gonna take off the hard bolts, which are the 2-1 in the bottom, and also we'll see if we could take off the other AC line from the bottom or the top, whatever is best for us. It's right there. I should be able to put number 10 from right here. Let me do that now, and let me get number 10, and I'll take off the number 10. All right, guys, so I'm gonna reach down there, try to get this number 10 off this cable. I mean the AC line. That thing is super tight, so let me see what else we can do. We can probably take off the AC compressor and just twist it a little bit. We can do that, and let's work on the 2 bolts in the bottom. All right, guys, while we're here, I'm gonna take off this fan. I'm gonna just make more room. All right, it's always better to make more room than struggle. Before we go down, I'm gonna just take off this fan. All right, if you need to know how to take off the AC fan on the Acura TSX, simple procedure, right? 2 bolts on the top, connector in the bottom, which I already disconnected. The connector is right there. You can reach it from here and you can pull it off, right? And after that, you just yank the fan off. In the bottom, all it has is these little Dobies right there, both one on each side, one here, one on the other side here, and that's it. The fan comes out. All right, look at how much room we have now, right? We're looking right at the AC compressor. Let's see if I can manage to take off that number 10 of that AC line now, right? But the problem is the light and the camera can't get a good angle for me to pull the ratchet. So let me just do it off the camera and then I'll show you guys what I did. All right, guys, I took off this nut right off that AC line here, and I'm sure I can get the AC line out now. All right, there you go. There's a seal on that, so be careful with the seal. I'll just let that AC line sit there. We have a lot of room, right, guys? Just make sure you save the bolts. So what I'm gonna do next is the bottom 2 bolts we could reach from right here probably, right? But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go from the bottom and I'm gonna fish out those bolts from the bottom, and then we'll come back on the top. All right, guys, we're underneath the car. Right down here, you have 2 bolts for the AC compressor. So what you need is number 14. Oh my God, they're not 14, they're 12. I'll be right back. All right, guys, right down here, you have number 12s. So what I'm gonna do is, a lot of times these bolts are usually jammed up. So if that's the case, you can either heat them up, just don't break them, all right? When you put these bolts in, they have to be inside the compressor, because if you don't do that, you're not gonna have room to put them in later. Where the hell are they? Because there's no room between the frame here, and the bolts are very long. My camera is not probably showing you guys. Sorry about that, but these are the 2 bolts that I'm removing. You see this one came out no problem, but I'm sure the other one is not gonna come out of the compressor, but it's gonna hit the frame there. Just give me a moment, guys, and I'll show you. Just trying to turn that bolt out of there. So pretty much underneath this car we'll have a metal cover over here which is missing, but all right, you see that? The bolt is not gonna come out. All right, the bolt is right there. It's not gonna come out. It's gonna hit the frame, but it's loose. All right, let's leave it like that. We'll go back up and work on the top now. All right, guys, we're back up and we only got 1, 2 bolts left. All right, I'm gonna use my sand wrench. At this point, the compressor should be able to move around. There you go, guys. The compressor is almost ready to come out, and I'll show you why we changing this compressor. The ACU system was still working, but there's a problem with the bearing on the compressor clutch. Let me just get this bolt out and then I'll lift up the AC compressor. Okay, guys, seems like it's all out. There you go. Second bolt, they're both the same thing. I'm gonna put them to the side there. So this compressor is loose and ready to come out. This has a little hook here which hooks onto this AC compressor. I'll show you once it's up in the air. There's the compressor. Be careful with the cover here. There's a hook down here. All right, so sorry, my camera's all off. There's a little hook where it sits on, so it helps you. But there's the problem. All right, that's a bad AC compressor. So I'm gonna go get a new compressor and we'll compare it, match it, and we'll put it back together. I'll be right back. All right, guys, there's the new compressor. Right, you see how smooth this is? Listen to that. So when you change your compressor, just look for like a connector, see if it's the same connector, and let's see, look at this, just how this compressor is. Like it has a hook here, this one has a hook, so make sure everything is the same. All right, that's all you're looking at. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this compressor, put it in there, all right, and that's it. And let me set everything up and then we'll come right back. This compressor is one thing, is gonna have these little screws. You see, this is where the line goes on and the other line goes here. So when you open these, you're gonna hear some kind of hissing noise. That's normal, right? Because this probably has a pressure inside. And all right, guys, so let me set this up. I'm gonna put that compressor away and we're gonna continue the job. All right, guys, what we're gonna do is we're gonna take off this together. All right, that's number 8 there. Like I said, I am gonna use the old bolt because I'm not gonna put number 8 on it. That disturbs the size of these. You hear that? That's a pressure. Don't worry about that. That's normal. What I like to do is this thing I just took off, I like to put it on the old compressor, because what that does is when the core goes back, if your piece has a core, it doesn't leak out. Alright, guys, let me get this ready and then I'm gonna come right back. Alright, all I need to do is pull this thing. It doesn't want to come out. Probably gonna have to pull it out with some kind of tool. All right, guys, we're ready to put this back in there. And notice I got this little bolt there. The other one, remember, from the bottom came out. So let me face my camera down. And this thing is ready to go down there. And I'm gonna let it sit on these hooks. And let me push this cable a little bit because it's touching. All right, let me fix this up. This little cable here is touching. So I'm gonna just open this a little bit. And I'm gonna pull this cable and I'm gonna lock it up. All right, guys, it's ready to go in. Again, I got the bolt in there. And slowly put this down there. Once you have it down there, you're gonna find the spot where it goes at, and you're gonna let it sit on the little hooks here, and we'll take it from there. Just make sure your bottom bolt is in before you tighten anything. It's a little difficult for me to manage. It should be easy for you if you're doing this at home. It's difficult for me because I got the camera where I should be standing at, right? So I got my bottom bolt in there. I can even tighten it from here a little bit. I caught a couple of threads on it. All right, guys, we're set. I'm gonna take these two bolts. They're both the same size. From here on, you just have to reverse the whole procedure. All right, let me get both of these in there. I'm gonna snug these two bolts, but I'm not gonna tighten them because I still gotta get the ones in the bottom. Again, it's a little difficult for me because I'm all of it in the corner stuck because of the camera. Alright, hasn't caught the threads yet. So let me come right back. I dropped the bolt. Let me go get the bolt. And I'm gonna catch threads in there before we record any further. Alright, guys, I got my light back. And now we can see much clearer, much better. Alright, guys, so I got the number 12 in here. And I got this one in. But I'm not gonna tighten them. We're gonna go back down. And we're gonna put the two bolts from the bottom. And then we'll come back up. Alright, guys? Alright, guys, we got the compressor in there. What we need to do next is we need to try to catch the threads on this bolt and the other bolt, which goes right here. Alright, guys, once we catch the threads, we can try first to get as many as we can with the hand. You don't want to tighten anything unless you're sure the threads are caught evenly. Alright, there we go. I'm going to just simply take my ratchet now. I'm going to tighten these bolts all the way in. Let me get this one in more because it's spinning with the ratchet. It's not, with the wrench it's not turning because it's too loose. Alright, I can't turn it by hand no more. So that's where the tool's gonna come handy. So what I'm gonna do, guys, here is I'm gonna tighten this all the way because if you have all 4 bolts aligned, it's nice and tight, guys. Don't break the bolts. You don't want to overdo it. There you go. We're done down here, guys. We're done bottom below, alright? So we're gonna go back up. Alright, guys, next what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take number 12 and I'm gonna tighten both of these bolts here. Alright, so we're gonna come right back as soon as I'm done tightening these two. Alright, this one is a little easier than the other one. There you go. Let me come around with this one. This one is a little stiff. The housing of the compressor and the bolt doesn't have too much space there. That's why it's throwing my ratchet. I'm sorry, my wrench off. Let me go back around. I'm tired in that angle. Alright guys, so 2 more threads. There you go guys. We got the compressor locked in nice and tight. What we're gonna do next is, before anything, let's put in that AC line. Let me bring my light over like that. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this AC line here. Make sure it has a seal on it just like that. It has oil already on it, so you don't need to like lube it with anything. And the line should go in flush. Right, just like that. And I'm gonna go get the bolt and I'm gonna come back. I gotta go get the bolt, I'll put them to the back. Alright guys, I'm back and I got my bolt that I just put right here. I'm sorry, not a bolt, it's a nut. Alright, that's a nut that goes into that bolt to the line here. So you should be able to get that nut on there by hand. I forgot to put a little bit of lube on it. That lube would have helped smooth out for that bolt to go in smooth. Right now I have a lot of room to work with because we have the fan out. So all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to catch that number 10 and I'm gonna tighten it. There you go guys. I have the bolt nice and tight. I'm not gonna put the second bolt in yet. I also want to change this pulley here. I was not able to get the pulley up here, so I have to order that, but I do have this one right here. So we're gonna change that pulley. Let me go get tools. Alright guys, I got number 14. This is number 14. Simple job, right? You're gonna take your number 14 and you're gonna yank that bolt. I'm gonna get this. Make sure you don't drop anything. Sometimes these pulleys do have like washers and spacers. All right, just put your hand underneath. So there it is, guys. Sorry about the light. This is the only way I could get this light in here, right? So the bearing was bad. So if you need the new part number, that's the part number. This is the tensioner pulley. It doesn't come with anything. That box is empty. All right. You're gonna put the bolt and the spacer, the washer, whatever you want to call it, back in there. All right. And we're gonna take this pulley. You're gonna simply just take it back, and you're gonna catch the threads. Make sure this sits on the housing. Catch it by hand first. Look at that, no noise. After that, we're gonna take our ratchet. We're gonna tighten this, all right? The tensioner probably gonna move with it, you see that? But just tighten it, you know? There you go, it's nice and tight. We'll put a little bit more strength into it, and that's it, guys. don't have that pulley. Don't ask me why I left it behind, but we are gonna change it. I'll make another video on this one. All right, now before we go any further, let's put in the belt. All right, I'm not gonna record the belt part, so just manage it because we can't really see anything. Guys, we can't put in the belt yet. We forgot the alternator. All right. Ah, I fell into the spot. So this has to go in there first. So all you're gonna do is you're gonna put this into there. All right. At this moment, you can put that big, the 14mm bolt in the housing. That little piece I showed you, you can push it back with the compressed tool. All right. I didn't do it, but you know, it had to move this self back a little bit. But right now it's giving me difficulty. I should have had done that, but that's okay. I'm gonna get this thing in there. I need to come with the camera, so I'm gonna move the camera and I'm gonna come right back. Sorry guys, the alternator has to be upright like that in order for you to get that bottom bolt in there, right? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get number 14. I'm gonna try to catch a couple of threads. Need a ratchet because it's not turning by hand. Alright, it's tightening, so let me see how far I can get this thing in before I get the second bolt in. Alright, I'm gonna come right back, guys. I gotta take a break. Alright guys, it's a long job. I'm getting tired, but alright, we're gonna get that bolt in there. I got it quite a bit. So let me leave it there. Let me get the second bolt on the top, right? That's gonna help me hold this alternator better. So there it is. All right. This is the socket that I used. Still got the same socket. I'm gonna try to make this thing going straight so it can hold it for me while I'm tightening the bottom. And at this point, I could just take that bottom bolt and just get it tight as where it ends at. All right, guys, I made a mistake. I'm gonna clean that up, all right? I got a little bit of dirt in there, and we don't want that, all right? Alright guys, I forgot one thing. I'm gonna have to take this bolt out, alright? You're gonna see what I forgot. And don't make that mistake because it's gonna be struggling later on. The bolt and the cable that goes here, we have to put that in now before we get this alternator to its final position. Alright, that was the number 10. Remember the number 10, don't lose it. We're gonna need a socket there because that thing is so deep. I have a socket sitting right here. You learn as you go, so you know, if you forgot, don't worry. Alright, this is the charging cable. This goes directly to the battery. That's why we disconnected the battery. Make sure you put this sleeve on. And now we can put that number 12. Alright, that number 12 that goes here. You can put that number 12 in. Just a couple of final steps and we're done. There you go. So I'm going to continue tightening the bottom bolt and then I'll come back to the top bolt. The bottom bolt is so long, but it's there, right? There you go, guys. Got the bottom bolt tight. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna tighten the number 12 on the top. There you go, guys. Next, what I'll do is I'm gonna put the belt and I'm gonna come back and we'll finish up the job. Reason why I want to put the belt now is because we got lateral clearance here. If I put this line, it's gonna block me. If I put the reservoir, it's gonna block me. The fan's gonna give me a little bit of less space. All right, so let's do that now and we'll come back. All right, guys, I put the belt on, no problem. I put the connector for the AC compressor. I'm gonna put this in. Don't forget to put the alternator connector in. It'll give you a signal inside. It probably don't charge the battery properly. I did clean out the little hole where the AC line is gonna go. All right, now it's time for the AC line to be put in. So let's do it this way. The line should drop right in, all right? You should not have to force the line in, all right? So I got that in. I'm gonna go get the number 10. Remember the number 10 I told you guys to save? Here it is. On the AC lines, I like to save the same bolts because they fit pretty good. All right, guys, there's my number 10. All right, I'm gonna tighten that. And we're pretty much almost done. I'm gonna put the fan in next. After this, we do need to put some oil in the car. This takes PAG 46. And we do need to charge the Freon. All right. The compressor does not have oil in it. I read the instructions. So we're pretty much done there, all right? So the lines are tight. This is tight. The compressor is tight. The alternator is tight. The belt is in. The pulley's in. All the connectors are in. Fan, the 2 bolts for the fan, and the reservoir and the connector for the fan is left behind. So here comes the fan, guys. This fan just drops right in. You have to drop it right onto the perfect spot where it belongs. All right, you should be able to wiggle it and find the spot. There you go, right? And it should align with these 2 little holes. So you're gonna take your number 10. That belongs here. Don't forget to connect the fan, all right? Just because you put the fan in, if you don't connect it, the fan is not gonna do its job, right? The number 10 goes there, and number 10 goes on the opposite end from here. All right, guys. What I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to see if the bottom locked in. So the bottom did lock into its spot, or did it? Or it did not lock, and I have to take this back out. Alright, guys, we got the fan back out. The fan did not sit properly in the bottom, alright? Now it's in, alright? So we're gonna take the number 10 here, we're gonna put this in. And then same thing on the other side. Alright, guys, that's tight. Let me tighten this side. Alright. Alright guys, we got that in. Make sure you strap type this. I'll do that later on. And we're gonna come over here a little bit. Right down there you have a connector. You're not gonna be able to see from here. Right down there we have a connector for the fan. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna reach from back here and I'm gonna be able to get that fan in there. But alright guys, and we'll put the reservoir in and we're pretty much done here guys. After this, just charge the system, make sure the fans come on, and please subscribe to my channel. If you guys have any questions, you can ask me. If I made a mistake, I'm sorry, but like I said, you can probably take it out from the bottom to the side. I didn't try it, I don't want to try it, but if those guys I want to do it at home, this is how you're going to do it. Alright, after this, make sure you remove the pulleys or the tools that you have. Put the number 10 battery cable in, the negative cable in, and that's it. We're done. I'm gonna put that connector in, I'm gonna put the reservoir in. You don't need to see that. That you can do. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.